the one thing that we had said was that if there is an advantage coming in here for Kevin Lee, it is in his striking.
And I feel like I'm really starting to find myself a little bit. And it's time to show these people.
Kevin the Motel Phenom Lee! Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. We started already, but I had the wrong color background. Not important, Matt. It's good to see you. You had Dean Thomas on.
Important. Sorry.
Last Monday. I had Phoenix on Wednesday, and it's just good to see you.
Okay.
How was Rogan? I saw your picture.
I'm coming in hot.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow it down. Because I got to just tell you, I like the gold in the background because first of all, it feels like to me, now I don't know how you feel, but to me, Jimmy, it feels like yesterday that it was the 600th episode.
That's right. 700.
Another 100 episodes.
But it would be funny if you said that and today was episode 601. Feels like only yesterday. Well, yeah, today is 700, man. I'm glad you said it because I actually would have forgotten.
I would have forgotten also. But it is wild, no?
I know.
Time for no man. You like that saying I just came up with?
Well, it's weird because we do about 2 a week. So if you want to do 700, that's 350 weeks. So when you look at 50, that's like almost 7 years we've been doing this podcast. Isn't that crazy? It's like 7 years.
I think it's fucking beautiful.
I do too. It's great.
I was, where I was over the weekend?
Yes, where you were in Austin with Dana and with Joe and Dean Thomas.
Dana wasn't there. I love Dana.
Oh, I thought it was looking for the fight.
No, we didn't do a looking for a fight.
Oh.
You know what's so cool about Dean Thomas? A lot of things. A lot of things are cool about our friend Dean Thomas. But we have each other's backs,
Mm-hmm.
So like he trains Jillian Robinson. Yep. And Jillian Robinson was just on Rogan. So he was talking to Joe, and Joe goes, "Hey, why don't you come on with Jillian?" And he goes, "Oh, no." He goes, "I want to save my appearance. I want to wait when Matt's going in." I'll call him. That's exactly how it went down. So, and then when we're down there, I have a good friend of mine, John Rollo. He's a black belt on the Henzo. He's around he's like the white Edwin. He's like 290. No, he's a big dude. Yeah, he's a big guy. He owns Ground Control Academy, and he has like 5 schools in the Baltimore area. He used to fight. Great guy. He was in town, so he was just hanging out with me. He knows Joe. He knows Dean. So Joe was like, "Hey, let's get a third mic for Big John." I go, "This is fucking great." Yeah. So it was basically, Jimmy, what it was just like 4 friends just catching up and having a good I had a blast, man. I had a fucking blast. It was so much fun. We were laughing, buddy. And I think it's going to be a fun episode. I believe. My philosophy is if I'm having fun, I think it's
fun.
And that's what it is. Well, what's on your mug?
It's a Doug Bell. What, would you like one? A nice Doug Bell mug? Look, Night of the Living Bell.
Oh, I thought it looked like a zombie.
Yes, Doug Bell, Night of the Living Bell.
See, this is where we differ.
A.
I
don't want to say what that stands for.
You know what I've been listening to? Is that A. It's from Machine Gun Kelly, and there's a little who's got a part in that is one of my favorites, Lil Wayne, and it is fuck. When you hear me come to a halt like that.
No, but I'm not saying it's a halt. I was just
Jimmy's giving a double thumbs up, meaning that we have a guest in. But you know what? We might not even have a guest in. I just think he doesn't want to hear about what song I like.
That's not true, but it wasn't a halt. It was just so you know that when you're done with the sentence, we'll bring him in Kevin Lee because he's here.
I don't know the hook yet, but basically it's 4 A's. And we're going to bring Kevin Lee right now. Kevin Lee, right now. Kevin Lee.
Yeah.
4 A's. Ready? A.
He's fighting
Kevin Lee in here.
Rinat Fakhretdinov. They are fighting on, see, when are they actually fighting? It would help if I knew when he was fighting. I'm sure it's here. Where is Kevin's fight date? I could just ask. I should ask Kevin. I hear him.
Why don't we ask you? Oh, is he here?
I'm here.
Hey, Kevin. What's up, buddy?
I'm sitting here flexing, looking at my guns. I don't even see you. Could you let us know when there's somebody in here with us, producer?
There he is. Yeah, prelims this Saturday. We're just I'm so dumb. I didn't have the fight date written down. It's the prelims this Saturday, of course. So that's great. How you doing, buddy?
We couldn't wait. We getting ready. We almost there.
Okay.
Well, can I be the first to say, good to fucking have you back, mother? Oh, wrong arm.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's do it again. Ready? Hey, Kevin Lee, let me ask you a question. Which way to the beach? Which way is the beach?
Which way is the beach?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. That's way. Sorry.
Yeah,
Kevin,
I'm gonna bow out of that one. I'll just watch you two.
Which way to the fucking beach?
I'll do it my fucking.
I want to say, welcome back, Kevin Lee. Come on, man.
No doubt.
This is where you fucking belong. This is where you belong.
I like to hear it, especially coming from you. I like to hear it. You're right.
Not only are you a great fighter, you got a personality. Like you got to, and I believe it doesn't feel forced.
It's legit.
I like your energy. I even liked it when you were fighting against my guys, like Rage and Al and stuff. You're a unique personality. That's what I'll tell you. And that's a good thing. That's a fucking good thing, man. And you can back it up.
And I can really fucking fight. So for me, that's really the proving ground. You know what I mean? I was
there live at MSG. I want to give you some props. I was there live when you fought Gregor Gillespie, a guy that no one wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And if I'm correct, I believe you might have been coming off a loss. I believe.
Yeah, he's coming off too.
Yeah. And man, it was an execution.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like going in, you knew. I want to go back to that fight really quick.
All right, let's do it.
Gregor Gillespie, where was your head at? Because you're fighting Madison Square Garden. And was I correct when I said you were coming off a loss?
It was off too. Yeah, it was an RDA, I think. I quit an RDA, yeah.
All right. So tell me, now you're fighting this other kid, undefeated.
Yep.
Where was your head at right there?
I was scared to death. I'm not gonna lie, because I knew his level of wrestling, especially like we know, like there's certain guys, like I'm a great wrestler, but there's certain guys that are just a step above. So I knew if I played into his fight and it was going the way he wanted it to go, and I always kind of relied on my wrestling, right? But I knew stepping into his wheelhouse, I was scared to death. I was scared to death walking out there. All them screaming fans, New York is fucking crazy. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care. They just want to see blood. And I'm like, you ain't seeing my blood today, So I was scared, but I think that's what had me heightened and on a different, I don't know. It couldn't phase me. Nothing that he threw was going to phase me. I was going to get the job done. And I feel like that's what we did.
It's funny. Fear tends to work. When I hear fighters talk about being scared, there are times where it works against guys and then it paralyzes them. And then, like, I always think back to Foreman, Joe Frazier. Yep. Foreman admits he said he was really scared of Joe Frazier. Like, he destroyed Joe Frazier, but he was scared of him. And that sometimes makes guys, I guess, just go all out fast, or however it motivated you, it worked.
Yeah, I feel like that there is something to that. I feel like the guys that are bigger and scarier, like when I fought Edson Barboza, I was scared to death of him too. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you look at him kick somebody upside the head like crazy, and see his athleticism, his explosiveness. Like, bro, you're gonna end up on a highlight reel if you're not scared of that man. So I feel like those are the fights that I kind of rise to a little bit. And I'm scared of this one. I'm not gonna lie. This kid that I'm fighting on Saturday is 19 fight win streak. Nobody ever fucking heard of him. I barely knew his last name this week. So, it's a scary fight to go into. He's strong, he's big, he's kind of like a Kamzat almost, where he's aggressive as hell. So yeah, it's gonna bring out that same level of me taking this dead serious.
And I forgot to even mention, when you fought Gillespie, you were in his backyard. That's another strike against you mentally.
Long Island guy, right?
Yeah, people wanted to see me get hurt. Like I said, this is New York we talking about. They really don't give a fuck about you. They want to see you get hurt. They want to see you carried out on a stretcher. And, it was either going to be me or him. And it damn sure wasn't going to be me that night.
They were cheering you, though. They gave you the props. I was there.
Afterwards.
100%. Oh, no, you had to earn that shit.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know if they did before or what. I tuned that shit out. I don't know if they did. before, but afterwards they for sure they gave me props. I ended up sneaking out through the front door. This not many people know that story, but because we had Donald Trump in the building, the Secret Service kind of closed everything off. People had to stay behind. They kind of kept you all in one room. Me and my team and Faraz, we snuck out through the front. We snuck out with the people, and dude literally put me on his shoulders, walking outside the front of Madison Square Garden where it all opens up on was that 8th Street or whatever it is. And just 20,000 people like cheering. The shit was crazy. Hopped in the car and dipped off. It was crazy. It was an epic night.
And Kevin, you're right about this guy you're fighting, who you're right. He's not a well-known guy. Fakhretdinov is his name. And he is on a 19-fight win streak. I think his only loss was a decision. It was his second fight.
Yep.
And you're like you're the name in this fight by far. So like you're a big name. So yeah, you definitely are smart to take this kid seriously, because that's the type of fight that gets guys in trouble if they don't approach it right.
Yeah, and he's got like a difficult style to deal with. And if this fight is even close, then people are already going to write me off even more than they already have. I'm not stupid. Like, I know what's going on. I realize that people are that they have written me off, that they forgot about me. But I'm going to make sure I remind them this weekend. I stayed in the dark for a reason, because I'm going to remind them after this one. And if this fight is even close, then they're going to continue to do that. But it's my job. I'm going to make sure it's not close. I'm going to make sure I go out there and I spark them. I mean, look, we talk about fighting in front of Madison Square Garden, right? The mecca of all meccas. And then now this fight is on a prelim at UFC Apex. Let's be clear. Like, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of fucking pressure. And I'm going to rise to that pressure. I'm going to meet the pressure with the pressure. And I'm going to come out the victor. I'm going to come out stronger. I'm going to come out better. And I'm going to show people who I am.
Sometimes, that scene from 8 Mile when, what's his name? B Rabbit's friend's name, the one that was a little slow, who shot himself in the
Cheddar or something?
Cheddar Bob. He comes in, he goes, yo, first round is you versus Lickety Split. And he goes, I don't give a fuck who it is. And he wasn't even looking at you. He didn't give a fuck. That's how I feel you are right now. Like, when you got Lickety Split in the first, I don't give a fuck who it is. Whoever it is will get it, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't care who watching. I don't care who's out there. I don't care who's in the building. It's whoever. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do my thing. I don't know if you said 8 Mile because I'm from Detroit, but I appreciate that. Yeah.
You know what? That's so fuck. Yeah, I did that. That's why I did it.
Shout out to Detroit.
Jimmy's like, that is a fucking great movie, though. Hey, I want to ask about the preparation for this fight.
Yep.
You would Dewey Cooper and the boys, or were you working?
So Dewey's still gonna be in my corner. That's my right hand man. But I'm down there in Cliff. I'm down there in Florida now. I've been living down in Florida for like the last year and a half. Had me a son down there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, my first one.
Kenzo, right?
I'm a newfound papa. I'm down there in Florida kicking it with all these top welterweights. You got 20 guys that are all in the UFC in the gym. Kamaru Usman, Ian Gary. I can keep going and going. Li Jingliang. It's a bunch of guys that I'm out there training with.
And did you go down towards the end of the pandemic? Were you one of those guys who just said, I'm going to uproot and move because nothing is going on?
Yeah. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yeah, I needed to switch up. Vegas can get kind of, you stay in Vegas too long, it can hypnotize you almost, I feel like. So that's what was kind of starting to happen. And especially when you talk about the pandemic, I felt like I needed something fresh. I needed something new. So it was either Florida or Texas, really. And Florida Florida had my heart. And especially, once I had my son, I'm like, okay, I'm all steps are in the right direction. And I feel like I've improved a lot. I've gotten bigger. I've gotten stronger. You walk around there with no shirt on. The beach is right there every day. I gotta stay buffed up. So people gonna see that in this fight.
When you are in Vegas, I'm always interested in guys who live in Vegas. Is it hard to stay out of the casinos or just away from the nightlife because it's always right there? Is it difficult not to let demons kind of, because I know I'm very weak and I would have a hard time with it.
No, it wasn't. The casinos wasn't hard, but the nightlife is. I'm not gonna lie. It is kind of like a pressure to spend the most money, to flash the biggest, to flash the hardest, especially if you feel like you the man, and that's how I've always felt. I felt like that even when I was 24 before I was really making money. So when you really start making money, you start flashing and you start doing shit that is kind of out the ordinary you wouldn't necessarily do. I feel like that part is probably where Vegas gets somebody like me. You know, I don't fuck around with the casinos and stuff too much. I kind of learned my lesson. But as far as like flashing the nightlife and doing a little extra, yeah, you do that.
Did you want to get out of there too, just because Florida is a more normal place? Like Florida feels, Vegas is only built for one thing, and then a community sprung up outside of it. But Florida is like a legit place that people have lived in. It just seems like more of a real place. Yeah,
exactly. More real, you know, like the people are real. People tell you how they feel straight up. I feel like Vegas kind of is a little bit like LA almost at this point. It's like a lot of people are acting, you know what I mean? So even when you meet them and you see them, they're not really giving you them. And when I first stepped in Florida, it's like, oh no, this is how this motherfucker really is. Like it's not no, I'm putting on a smile just to you know, kind of pacify you a little bit. I feel like that's kind of where Vegas is getting to. A lot of people are coming up from LA and they bringing over that culture to it. But I miss the realness of being in the hood a little bit, being in a, you know, in a real, around real people. So it kind of brought out the real me again.
Yes, because Vegas is similar to LA, and it's like any place people are going to make it.
Yeah.
Like they want to make it in show business, or they want to make it financially, or even in show business in Vegas. It's a weird vibe to be around people who are there for the central thing that state offers. It's just weird.
Yeah. You're right. No doubt. Yeah.
Well, you're doing it right though. Yeah. If you ask me, because it's age appropriate, man. You spent you're in your 20s. You spent your time in Vegas. 30 now. You're in Florida. Now you have a kid. I mean, it's like the next chapter of your life. Yeah, when you turn 30, which by the way is still young as fuck, I'd almost feel a little weird. When I turned 30, it felt a little weird. I'm never being like, I'm not my 30s. Yeah. I'm a fucking adult.
Yeah.
But now I'm 49, I'm still not an adult. I'm not worried anymore. Yeah. But when you turn 30, did it feel weird for you at all?
It do. It feel like I still kind of feel like my old self. I still kind of feel 16, but then you like, man, I'm a grown ass man, bro. Like I'm a grown ass man. Like you can't tell me shit. Like I'm the one giving out the orders now. Like I'm the one that's and the good thing is it made me hold myself accountable now. Like I don't have nobody to answer to. I got to answer to me. So it's like, it makes you cut out all the bullshit. It makes you cut out all the excuses. Like nobody fucking cares, bro. You're 30 years old. Nobody gives a shit about your problems. We all got problems. Everybody life is difficult and they going through shit. They don't give a fuck, bro. Like either you going to contribute or you're going to lay down and die. It's going to be one or the other. And for me, I'm going to contribute and I'm going to show my heart. And it really, I feel like it gave me a fuller sense of purpose in myself. I don't know if that's me being 30 or if that's me having a kid. It could be a combination of both. But yeah, 30 is a weird age. I feel grown man, and he's not gonna be able to play with me this weekend. He not.
How old is your son?
He's a grown ass man. I'm in there with.
Sorry, Kevin. How old is your son?
He's 6 months right now.
Oh wow, really, really young. Yeah. How did that change you? Because people who have their first kid, a lot of times they say that some type of a change happened or it changed the way they saw things. And how was that for you?
It made me not give a fuck about nothing else except for him, you know, and it made me realize like what's really important in life. Like I was saying earlier with Vegas, and you want to kind of show off, you want to kind of, you know, prove that you are the man. I don't feel like I got to prove anything no more. Like my son's healthy. He's good. He's got food on his table. I need to put more food on his table this weekend. But as long as that's there and that's settled, like I feel just okay wherever I'm at. I can sit wherever in any room and feel okay. Yeah, I'm all right. I always got my son in the back of my head. I don't need none of this other shit. I don't really give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about nothing else, to be honest with you. Like I care so much about this one thing that everything else kind of is just play. It's just, it falls in the waistline.
Do you start thinking, oh, sorry, Matt. Do you start thinking, because Matt, you know this too. Again, I don't have kids. When you have a kid, do you start thinking about, wow, whatever I do now, I'm representing myself and he's going to see this or she's going to see this. Do you start thinking about like what their impression of you is going to be in 10 years when they Google you or whatever it is?
Not that they're gonna see it, you know. I don't think about that too much. Like, oh, he's gonna watch my old fights or anything like that. But he's gonna feel it, you know. He's gonna feel it from me. Like one thing I knew growing up, like I didn't really listen to my parents, but I watched everything that they did. So if my dad telling me, okay, you got to get up and you got to work, and he was laying around, then, bro, like what? I'm not,
Right.
you know, you're gonna tell me that, but you're not gonna do it. So when I need to tell him, okay, you got to push yourself, you got to challenge yourself, you got to go against the grain and to go against the odds and kind of not and follow your own life path that God is setting for you. I got to do that first, you know.
Yeah.
I can't just say it. Like I got to do it. I got to really put my life on the line. I got to really go out there and fight these tough ass dudes that to other people it seems like a stupid fight, but to me this is the path for me. And I got to do it because that's the only way he gonna feel it. It's not so much, you know, like you said, like, am I doing it because he's gonna see it and he's gonna try and emulate it? No, he gonna feel it. He gonna feel it off of me. And when I'm 49, like Matt, he gonna know. Like, bro, when I was 30, I used to be the shit. You ain't know.
Fuck yeah, man. Hey, listen, and you're ahead of the game. All the experience you got, the timeline. I was 32 when I got the title. Dude, you're ahead of the game, man. You got the brains of your fight IQ is where it should be. Your skill set's there. You're ready to shine, Kevin Lee.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go on my next thing. I'm ready to go on the next run. I'm ready to get back to the top. It's gonna be a long climb, but one step at a time. I'm gonna get back up there, fighting the Charles Oliveira's again, fighting the Leon Edwards, fighting these big guys. So yeah, I'm ready for that.
Kevin, it was good talking to you. We have our next guest is waiting, but
Yes.
yeah, I'm really happy you're back, and it's good to see you. And you seem like you're in a great place. So you know, I'm sure you'll have great success this Saturday against Fakhretdinov. And have a good fight, man. We'll talk to you again. Welcome back.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the words too, Sarah. Appreciate that.
All right, Kevin, take him out, man.
You're the man, bro.
All right, take care, man. Oh yeah, I'm happy to see Kevin. He seems like he's in a great place too. And our next guest, Laird Hamilton, very interesting guy, big influential surfer, and there's a lot of breathing and training methods that I want to just ask him about. His more breathing methods because my breathing is so shit.
Yeah, you're trying to change your breathing methods. You better be.
I just want to breathe better. Like I'm always out of breath, and I'm half of it is not breathing.
Don't be holding your breath when you're going for your fucking arm locks or you're doing your elbows.
Matt, they all,
Breathe.
I'm telling you, Mike tells me that and Jamie tells me that. You got to breathe. You got to breathe.
I'm not even
David
there.
has told me that.
I know you're holding your breath. I'm not even there. I know it. That's how I
But I'm
feel.
doing better with it though. I'm doing better. Like I'm definitely not a Kimura savage, but I would say I'm a Kimura gentleman. I was, they were showing me, I was learning some Kimura techniques. And of course I thought of you the whole time. And I really suck at it, but I see why it would really hurt somebody.
My kid Tommy, and Tommy and Marcus fought over the weekend, and I didn't get to talk to you about that.
No, you did not.
You wanted me to talk to you about that after we talked to Laird.
I will. Hey, Laird, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How are you, Laird?
Good, thank you.
I'm obsessed with your 3D-ish because you're blurring out the background, so it just feels like you're in like what is it? Like one of those like sci-fi movies?
Well, I got a bunch of pictures of my family. I don't want you to see them in a
100%.
precarious position.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want it weird. Nice to meet you, man.
Thank you. Nice
And
to meet Matt.
you're a surfer, obviously, and I'm fascinated by you guys. It just seems like such a terrifying way to exercise. How long have you been doing that? And do you train in the martial arts at all?
I started surfing before I could remember. My mom said I could swim before I was walking. But I don't know about that. I could crawl the pool and swim around. So I've been surfing. I'm almost 60 now, so I've been probably surfing, at a decent level for 50 something years. And I do have some. I mean, I grew up in Hawaii, which is a pretty aggressive culture. So I grew up around a lot of violence, and I have kind of been exposed to some different martial arts over the years. I always say hurting people is pretty easy. That's it's helping them that's more difficult. But yes, I do have some experience in martial arts.
I think Max Holloway told us that, Matt, about, because you think of Hawaii, we see the tourist side of it, and you don't realize that there are some areas that can get pretty rough in Hawaii.
Yeah, well, it's just that Hawaiians were warrior culture. So you grew up in a warrior culture, and then they're massive. So that doesn't, Tongan, Samoan, Hawaiian, the Polynesians are some of the largest people in the world. Just so that alone creates some difficulty, and then culturally super, aggressive. I mean, the high school I went to was third in the nation for crime and violence. So we had a lot of. It was East LA, the Bronx, and then the school I went to, and so there was a lot of. I mean, you grow up just making sure that your back is against the wall so you can see what's coming.
You have it extra because of your appearance. Like you always see the movies, or you see some stuff on the social media or in the past or whatever. It's just clips of, they call him the Howley. It's like even though I believe you grew up there, did you ever get mistaken as, hey, look at that guy? He doesn't look like.
It's just when you go down as soon as you go down the wrong street, you're back to, they know you in your neighborhood, but when you look like a descendant of Captain Cook, which they don't really love. They don't love that. But I think growing up, I had some incredible Hawaiian friends. But if you go down the wrong road, you're just another white guy who they're not too stoked about.
What part of Hawaii did you grow up in? And by the way, I think when you said you were almost 60, Matt and I both kind of look like, how the fuck are you on? Whatever you do,
100%.
You look incredibly healthy and young, and neither one of us realized it.
I grew up on Kauai. I lived on all the islands. I lived on Oahu. I've lived on the Big Island. I lived on Maui for 20 years. My home island is Kauai, the Garden Island. And so I've lived on all those islands. I also live in California part-time. Our part, half the year. My wife and I, kind of to be together, we would migrate. I would be in California for half the year, and then our season for the big surf is in the winter. During the winter, so I would go back to Hawaii for the big surf, and then be in California and kind of deal with her volleyball and that, and a lot of training. We're exposed to a lot of stuff. I get a lot of fighters come through our home, and so I get exposed to a lot of athletes, and a lot of like military guys come and kind of play with us. I would describe it.
And what about, I read something about your breathing. I don't know much about it, but you teach like breathing techniques, or what exactly is about your breathing? That's because for me, breathing is this thing that I'm never doing right. And I think, who was it, Matt? Which Gracie? Is it Hickson who we spoke to? Who was talking about his breath and breathing?
You see his stomach moving in and out, and it's funny because in the movie The Hulk with Edward Norton, has to do with this. They actually have Hickson Gracie in there trying to teach him to control his rage, and they show him sitting down doing the thing with the belly and then giving him a smack to see if he can get. Anyway, but that's the thing. Do you know what we're talking about? The breathing method of
I do. I mean, listen, when you're involved around the water, air is important. So and you deal with any kind of high performance athlete, it's all about breath. I mean, we all have issues with our breathing. Somewhere in the last couple hundred years, we started breathing through our mouths and not through our noses. And so there's a lot of different types of breath work. There's a lot of different there's ways that, I told somebody, if you understand what the haka is, the haka, when the New Zealander All Blacks, they have the haka, right? The haka is the breath, the chanting that they do before a rugby match. So
I love that.
Okay, so but that actually is pre-battle preparation breath. So what they're doing is that before they're going to fight, they do a pattern in order to jack the metabolism up to be able to. So it's like pre-battle. It's pre-fight. It's like a pre-fight routine where and they talk about intimidation. But if I told somebody, like, if you hear a lion roar in the jungle, or he's letting everybody know through his breath that he's got power. Like and so, I mean, in martial arts, you have the ki. And so all of this stuff, I mean, a lot of, obviously our endurance comes through our breathing, but so does our power, comes through our breath as well. So, I mean, we deal with a bunch of different patterns. We deal with ones to calm you down, recover quickly. Like, let's say between rounds, you want to go into a certain pattern to really bring your metabolism down. And then also you can do patterns that jack you up and there's a lot of, I mean, the monks do it for meditation. I mean, breath work is limitless when it comes to performance. You can do patterns that help you deal with altitude. So we deal a lot of, I mean, I like to dabble in stress just because the ocean and the water and big waves, and obviously fighting, these are stressful things. The heat stressful, the cold stressful. So when you become stress acclimated, I think that it overlaps in any field that you're in. It doesn't anything to do with stress. If you become more stress tolerant, your breath is a big piece of being stress tolerant. I don't know anybody that doesn't benefit from becoming more stress tolerant.
That's amazing. It just, I never thought of that. I thought it was more tradition. When you seen, like, I believe Mark Hunt, one time before he went to a fight, he had a bunch of the guys in the gym, like, do the whole, I don't know what the hell, the haka shaka, what was it?
The haka.
So they're doing and I thought it was more of a pump up, like a 300 speech of like, getting them amped up. But I never thought of it like a warm up for battle.
Yeah, well, there's a physiological thing happening when you're doing that. You're scrubbing the CO2 and you're oxygenating the system. So you're gonna benefit from that. You're gonna come in in a better state. You're gonna be ahead of the curve because you're gonna get behind the curve anyway. But the sooner you get ahead, the further ahead of it you are, and the longer you stay there. I mean, it helps your cardio, it helps your endurance. I mean, there's nowhere you don't benefit from, and a lot of the stuff we do in the water is based on they're all breathing patterns. So when you get into these limited, if you know what hypoxic training is, but when you're training, the next thing after cardio is hypoxic, which is when you're really like holding your breath while you're doing cardio activities, which really increases your ability to be able to oxygenate your system, and you get more CO2 tolerant, which is just you get more tolerance when you're acidified, which is what leads to failure in performance. I mean, it's when guys crash, it's because they just don't have CO2 tolerance. And so whether it's in a marathon, whether it's in a fight, whether it's in any sport, there's some cool stuff that we've learned and continue to learn, and so it's something that I spend a lot of time being, and participating in, just because I benefit from it, and then also the people that we get exposed to, get benefit.
I have two questions for you too, Laird. Before one is the first question is gonna be that thing, the haka that they do. How long does that last? You said that it kind of gets you ahead of the curve. How long does that effect last when you do that? And number two, I have this thing when I breathe. I don't know if it's stress or panic, but there's times where I feel like I can't take a totally deep breath. Like, when you take a deep breath, the last 15% of it is like that little click that happens where you just know that you've filled up your lungs. And there's that little last part that I sometimes feel like I'm hitting a ceiling and not clicking. So what can I do to improve that?
Tension reduces your ability to expand your lung all the way. When, everybody talks about 6-pack abs and having a super tight ab area. The problem is that reduces the volume of air that you want strength, right, in it, but the core stability, our core stability comes out of our diaphragm, not out of our abs. And so in a way, when you have tension, you don't expand. I told somebody, the lung is as flexible, it's like a balloon. I mean, they say you can stretch a lung over a tennis court or something. It's so stretchy. But when you put a balloon in a bird cage, the balloon can only expand as big as the cage is. So whatever volume you have, and a lot of that tension, when you have tension and you're like, you can't get a breath because everything's restricting the expansion of the lung itself. So that's a piece of why you can't get the volume. And as far as how long that preparation lasts, it has to do with, first of all, how CO2 tolerant are you, and how well are you at preparing? Like how much how oxygenated can you get your system and in that? And so that's a muscle. That's a trained muscle. They say that a lot of athletes are actually don't have the most efficient cardiovascular systems that they should, considering what they do. And a lot of it has to do with just CO2 tolerance. It's just your ability to handle the acidity of your system. That's why nose breathing is so important, because you reduce the volume and then you get used to higher levels of acid in your system, acidity.
And how can people, like these things that you teach, is there a way people can learn this stuff from you? Like, is there a website? Is there something you're promoting to? I don't have it in front of me, so I want to make sure that if there's something that you do, if there's a program or a course you offer.
Yeah, well, we do a training program that we have, but they have online. There's a breathing app, xptlife.com. XPT is like exploration and performance training. But if you any athlete, any fighter that's really interested, I mean, Hickson Gracie, I mean, his work is crazy good. Hickson's a friend of mine. Listen, I mean, there's so much breathing information out there. It's more about implementation than it is. I mean, and it's like things are only as good as people want to implement. I make some nutrition. I have Laird Superfood that has a bunch of good ingredients, and I make coffee stuff and for performance, some energy. I make bars and a bunch of other stuff that has super healthy ingredients, no chemicals and stuff. But all that your body's ability to deal with oxygen is connected to your overall health. And I tell guys, I go, listen, I tell these young guns, you can't eat like shit. Potato chips in is potato chips out, and you can't fly a rocket on water. You got to put rocket fuel in rockets. And people get away with it when they're younger because they got hormones and they're all jacked up, and that works for a while, but you gotta fuel the system correctly. And oxygen is the most powerful fuel that we have. It's the most obvious. It's the only one. I mean, you can not eat for weeks, you can not drink water for days, but oxygen, it's minutes. And if you look at any motor, you want a motor to go faster, just open up the hood and let more oxygen into the fire. And so that's the most precious resource that we have for energy. And as far as fuel goes, that's for me. I think that's the foundation, right? Is the breathing.
And also,
sorry. I just want to ask, you said you have bars. Do you sell those bars, like protein bars, whatever you were just talking about?
I have some crazy bars. I have some crazy, super healthy, no bad oils. So Laird Superfood. I sell on Amazon. I sell on my own site, Laird Superfood. I have really good, caffeinated drink, coffee, creamers, all plant-based. I'll own you if you're a coffee drinker. If you're a coffee drinker and I get a shot at you, I'll own you. Once you get on this stuff, you won't want to drink coffee any other way. I guarantee it.
Really?
I'll send you a box.
Sold.
I'll send you a box. I'll send you a box. I make a bunch of different hydration products, but all plant-based, no chemicals, no bad oils. I mean, we're just trying to make things right. Like, nature did a perfect job. I just feel like, it's in the perfect ratios. Why would we try to compete with nature? I think it's a mistake. Why not just access what nature's made for us and use that correctly? And and in the long run, that will pay off. I mean, sometimes we're looking for such immediate fixes. We want instantaneous results.
Yes.
I mean, caffeine will do that, but we want more instantaneous results, and there's always a price to pay in the long run. And you just got to decide what way you want to go about it. Like, are you thinking with the end game, or are you just thinking like, how great can I be right now, and who cares about tomorrow? Which is a great philosophy, but I think you'll be sad when tomorrow comes and you're still here, and then you got to deal with it.
Right.
And also, Matt, let me give out the website real quick. It's Laird Hamilton. LairdHamilton.com.
Superfood. So my name, LAIRD, LairdSuperfood.com.
Oh, it's not LairdHamilton.com. Oh, that was for your extreme performance training
Laird
method.
Superfood, my first name.
Okay, Laird Superfood. We had the wrong one written down.
Yeah.
Superfoods.com to grab that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I have an apparel line. I have, listen, as an athlete, when you've been, when you go through being sponsored since you're young, and then you promote other businesses, and then you get to a certain stage in your life, and you kind of, first of all, it's not easy to authentically promote things that you don't believe in. Like, I'm not a good liar. So I end up having to try to make my own things and do my own stuff. Then I can promote it honestly and be like, yeah, this stuff is great. Eat it, drink it, wear it. I use it. I believe in it kind of philosophy. But, at this point in my career, I need to kind of start businesses and not just promote other people's businesses. So I have like I said, I have an apparel company. I have a fitness, a lifestyle, fitness stuff. And then I have Laird Superfood as well.
Fuel the ride. You have a new follower, buddy. I want those protein bars, Larry.
I'll send you a case. They're not gonna last long. You're gonna need a few.
Can I ask you something, Laird, about those two? Because I definitely do not have abs. I kind of go back and forth with weight. So one thing I'll eat as a meal replacement, I eat RX bars because they're kind of clean and they're natural. Is your stuff kind of like that, where there's
cleaner?
Really even good.
Cleaner. Yeah, it's cleaner, and I won't. I can't. You can't make claims about certain things, but
sure.
If you get on these creamers, you'll find it'll help you deal with your weight. It'll affect your weight. So if you start using the creamers, you'll definitely find, because you get satiated. Your brain feeds on fat. Your brain's a fat eating organ, and fat satiates the brain. And that has a lot to do with our appetite. If you're not getting satiated, you're just going to keep consuming because the body doesn't have what it wants. And so that's a vicious cycle,
right?
When you're not eating, when you're not getting satiated. So it's a big piece of that.
Awesome. Well, look, man, you're really a very fascinating guy. And this breathing, I would recommend anybody go to this. I actually literally, as we're talking, I just went to Amazon and typed in Laird Superfood. So when we get off, I'm actually going to look through it and see some of the stuff you have. So
just have your people send the address, and I'll send you guys a couple cases of the stuff. I know. I mean, listen, once you start using the products, you're going to really you're going to appreciate it. And it'd be my pleasure if I can be helpful at any point for any time. It's part of what I'm doing. I want to be of service. So if I can help fighters, like I said, I get fighters come through here. They get a lot of benefits from some of the stuff that we're doing, just because it's first of all, it's uncomfortable, unorthodox, and it just helps the psychology. Because I think, at least from my exposure to a lot of the athletes, it's a psychological game. Where the brain goes, the body will follow. But if psychologically you're not able to go there, it doesn't matter what body you got. The body, you can have just the greatest body ever, and a so-so body will go far with a powerful mind. So I think there's the mental side of it is the biggest kind of area of potential growth, and then the body follows, because how that works.
Well, Laird, thanks so much, man. We're looking forward to trying that stuff. And fascinating and really, really interesting what you do. And I hope people go and check it out. And we'd love to talk to you again.
Aloha. Thank you, guys.
All right, Laird Hamilton. Thank you, buddy. Thanks so much.
Aloha.
I'm going to gonna get some of those.
Yeah, I am gonna go too. Fascinating. I love guys like that who have, you can tell by talking to them, like he just looks like a much younger than 60 guy, and obviously has a very, very healthy habits. So yeah, I went to this, and I'm going to, and to Jake, if he sends you some stuff, maybe you can send a little to me or a little to Matt, or give him both of our addresses, however, but I'm very interested in some of that stuff. And of course I'd buy some after.
Before we predict,
Sure.
Sean Strickland fight.
Yep.
Who's he? Magomedov. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Before we predict that, let's keep them in suspense. I just want to say, because, again, it's been a minute, like the kids say. No, it's been a while, because Monday I was off.
Yeah, and Wednesday I was
off. Over a week, right?
No, Monday I was off. Wednesday you were off.
Oh, there you go. And I'm back now. Yes, we're back. So, Jimmy, last weekend, before I went to go see our friend Joe Rogan, and by the way, can I just say, if I was distracted for a second, I got a text from a UFC fighter that I'm buddies with, and this irks me. And I like the guy, nice guy. I like him, and I just texted him back, and I'm going to keep it secret who it is. It's not a big deal, but dude, man. Hey, I get this. Hey, I'm doing this for this radio station. It's number one, Can you do me a favor? Could you help me out? Could you give me Joe's cell? And I'd appreciate it, How about this? No. I type back no, and I'm surprised you asked me that. What the fuck?
I love you, Matt. You're probably the most genuine guy I know. Like, I really mean that.
Jimmy, I'm surprised he asked me that. I go, and then he's apologized, and I go, all right, I still love you, but I can't be that guy. I wouldn't do that. The guy had the show, I'm going to be giving out his cell. I mean, I don't know. Why would you put me in that position?
You cannot. Well, here's what I'll do. I will a lot of times say, I don't know if I have his new number, because a lot of times Joe changes his number fast anyway. And I've actually texted Joe before. And hey, the so-and-so is asking, because I don't know if it's somebody he wants to talk to.
Yeah, no, I know, but...
And then Joe will say either yes or no, and then I'll just go back to the guy and go, I don't have it. That's it.
And then he'll block you immediately if you're bothering. No, I'm only kidding. I don't want to bother nobody. You know what I mean? Because I always ask myself this. I go, would I do that? Would I ask that guy for that? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't. I would not bother I wouldn't. Here's a perfect example. I wouldn't bother you to get to Bob Kelly. That's the worst example.
I would put Bob Kelly's number on Twitter. You could have it.
I just like to be silly. But anyway, listen, the guy's a good guy, but some people, you can't just do that. So back to my guys that fought over the weekend. Now, I'm so proud of them. Now, Tommy's funny. Tommy, what is it? DeGennaro, I think his name is. Tommy's like pretty much deaf. He's not all the way deaf, but he's pretty much deaf. I told you the story about my Coach Colombo. She wanted to try to help him she wanted to try to be a better coach. So she's learning sign language. She tried to do it. He goes, what the fuck you talking about? And she's like, I thought I don't speak sign language. So anyway, he's a wrestling kid. He's getting better with the striking. He had his debut, and he totally dominated this kid. But what happens in MMA, amateur MMA, is you can get mounted on somebody or get these dominant positions, but you're not allowed to strike in the face. So you got a guy with no shirt and gloves on, you're mounted on them, and they're just clamming up. So you can't, it's like you're trying to submit them now.
Yes.
You can't punch him. So it's actually worse. So the kid made it through, but Tommy he put on a wrestling clinic and just had every position. He did everything but finish the kid,
Yeah.
So congrats to Tommy. Made me so proud. I was so happy. He's such a nice kid, And then Marcus, now listen, young Marcus, and I don't mean in a bad way, but have you ever seen like Urkel from back in the day, a little nerdy?
Sure. Yeah.
He kind of looks, you maybe make a case that he looks a little Urkelish. He's kind of like a little nerd, but, and I say it with love, he is now 4-0, 4 rear naked chokes. The guy he just fought, this kid, I think it was O'Day, his name was. He was a Ryan LaFleur student. Now, Ryan LaFleur is a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
Long Island MMA.
Long Island guy, yep.
And the guy is, he trains out of Long Island MMA and with Ryan LaFleur and them. And they're a tough, I knew they're a tough team. And I know Ryan is a great trainer and a tough guy and a gentleman. Let me just tell you that. I love Ryan. Yeah. So I seen him. We gave a hug. I know we're going to be on the opposite sides of the cage. There's no bad blood there. But again, now Marcus, it kind of looks like a guy that you don't believe you're going to lose to this guy. Like, you know what I mean? Jimmy, he's like, but don't get me wrong, he's strong, but he just, he wears the glasses. He's got bad eyesight. He's squinting a lot. You can relate a little with that. He blinks a little. Right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
No, so everybody thinks they're going to kick the shit out of this kid. So, but I don't know. He's like I tell him, I go, dude, you're living your anime movie, dude. I love it. He went out there, and this kid was a legit kid. He tagged him a few times. It looked a little scary. Marcus got him down, and he got the rear naked choke in the second round. Almost had it at the end of the first round, but it was competitive up until he got that. So,
well, it's like this, Matt.
And he got the belt. That one you could hit on the floor because it was a championship fight. Yeah. So he's now a champion. Young Marcus Reed.
Good for him.
Is he's living his anime movie. So congrats to him and congrats to Tommy. And
it's like when Pacino said to Keanu Reeves in Devil's Advocate, he was like, they never see you coming. And that's what a guy like that's like. They just don't see him coming because people look and they go, this guy doesn't look like he's going to kick my ass. And then he does.
Dude, it's amazing. 4-0, 4 rear naked chokes.
Yep.
This guy he fought was a little kooky. But then after that, he fought a tough Tiger Schulman's kid. The last kid he fought was a winning kickboxing kid. One was a kickboxer, and he fought 3 tough guys in a row. This last guy was very tough, I'm going to say. This kid I told this kid, LaFleur's kid, O'Day, I go, hey, man, look, I got my losses. Stay in there. You're good. Yeah, there's a different level sometimes in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Like Marcus trains, like I had him spar with Matt Favola a little bit and this one and that. He had such confidence. And he's rolling, and the kid lives at my school. He lives on the mats. Jimmy, you're doing it now. You're developing it. Jiu-jitsu is a superpower.
Well, I'm never going to be great at it. Like, sure, I was learning a little Kimura, but let me ask you a question. I have a jiu-jitsu question for you.
Yes.
Can you, even if someone's a lot bigger than you, are you able to put a Kimura on them?
I'll tell you right now. Yes, with you're smiling, but it is more. I'm going to say it is better. Yeah. It's more. I'm not going to say more of a big guy move, but big guys tend to use the Kimura more. Right. But little guys could still use it. It's not. You got to get your hips, your leg. Like instead of hipping out to get to the side, you use your whole body to weigh down on his hip. Like your heel's going across his back to his other side of his butt. You make your leg heavy, and you get your ass out, and your upper body follows. So you got to get your whole body behind that Kimura. But having said that, big guys tend to really love that Kimura.
Yeah.
You could use it to control passing. You could take away single legs from it. You could obviously submit with it and break shoulders. It's reverse with it up and overs from guard, which Tommy did use in his fight. My kid Tommy got on bottom for a second, went for a Kimura, didn't work, hips up, right to an up and over to mount. So beautiful thing. Yeah, I love the Kimura.
Well, let's do a pick before we go, because right now it's our 700th episode, and I'd hate to end it by shitting my pants, but I feel that'd be a really embarrassing way to end our 700th episode.
Let's go, Jimmy. Go ahead, you started.
Strickland against Magomedov. I mean, the records are very comparable. Sean's 26-5. Magomedov is 25-4-1. And Sean is coming off the loss to Cannonier. Split decision loss, and Fakhretdinov was a knockout, but he looked good against Imavov. I'm going to take Sean by decision.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say Sean, 4th round stoppage, strikes. He's got good endurance.
Yes, he does.
Look on, I don't know if it's his Instagram. I think it might be. Or I saw it maybe on a clip somewhere. He was at I think it might have been Curtis. A couple of guys like spar. They were in the cage with him, coming after him, and he's fighting them both off. He's punching them. He's like they're trying to take him down and punch him. It was him versus 2 guys. They're fucking around, but he's sparring 2 of them. Like it's funny. It was funny.
Yeah,
it's like how he would deal with multiple attackers. I liked it.
You know? And let's do Kevin Lee against Fakhretdinov. Let's do that. That's the main fight of the prelims. And you know, and I'm happy to see Kevin Lee back. I think Kevin seems hungry. He seems like he's in a very good place. And I'm going to say Kevin, even though he's fighting a sambo fighter.
This sambo fighter, you know, we found him.
You did.
I'm 99% sure we found him on Dana White looking for a fight. Right. Find that out for me. I'm going to say it is. We found him when we were over there.
I think Kevin, I'm going to give Kevin a decision as well. I'm going to say this guy might be a little hard to submit, but I'm going to give Kevin a decision.
I'm saying the same thing, Kevin, by decision, only because I'm just so happy he's back. And I think he's going to answer the call.
Yeah, I think so too.
Gregor Gillespie fight was the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
It's something else.
All right, Matt. Well, this has been great. I'm happy you're back and happy to chat again. And I can't wait to come out and see you on Long Island.
Dude, that's and keep training, because the more you train, the more fun we'll have.
Yep.
You know, and then we'll get our first fucking session in, bro. We'll show you
I try to go at least I'm doing a little Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu. I try to go at least 4 days a week. Some weeks I'm doing 5 days a week, but the worst I'm done is 3, and that's only if I'm working and I can't go.
And you met Henzo. You talked to Henzo.
He was there Saturday. I was there with Jamie. We were going to do a private upstairs, and Jamie Crowder and I we just started, and someone came up and he goes to Jamie, "Hey, Henzo wants to see you downstairs." So Jamie's like, "Oh, I have to go. It's the boss." I'm like, "Yeah, well, no problem." So I'm waiting for a minute, and then the guy comes back up to me and he goes, "Hey, Henzo's going to give him his black belt if you want to come down." So I went down, and there was
for the people listening, Jamie Crowder is also known as
Jamie English,
who was the co-host on here many times.
Many times. We love him. And he's a great instructor too. Like he's really, and so is Mike Charmillo. Those guys are so patient. And you know what, they're very meticulous about drilling the same thing and showing you the proper movement.
Yeah.
So I go downstairs and Henzo is finishing up a class. And it was a massive class because he had said he was coming in that day. And to watch him work the room was really fun. And then he saw me and he came over and he was very, very welcoming. You know, he's so happy that I was there. And he said, "Make sure you tell Matt I'm going to come in and see you guys soon." I don't think he knows we're doing it on Zoom, but it was really nice. And then the class sat down after a while, and then Henzo gave Jamie his black belt, and it was very, very moving. Yeah, very emotional. Jamie was really touched by it. And then Henzo was just fucking hilarious and told stories for 10 minutes. And he's really a gifted speaker, and he really knows how to captivate a room when he talks. And you either have that or you don't. He's got that. And all the guys, I was talking to your buddy Andrew, who I know is one of your one of your closest friends. Everyone there is supportive and nice. I love that place. They're all great. Even the other white belts are willing to help you, and all of the blue belts, the black belt, everybody there is just got a great energy and a great vibe. I love it.
I'm very, very happy you're there training, dude. And
Thank you,
and also I was right. We did find Rinat on looking for a fight.
Oh, good.
We gave him that contract in Abu Dhabi. And so now I'm switching my pick because we found it. I'm only kidding. I'm staying with Kevin Lee. I'm going to say he's going to get a decision. All right, buddy. Have a good weekend. We'll watch the fight Saturday night. Let me plug them properly, Matt. Yes, please do.
It is, of course, Strickland versus Magomedov, and that is, Magomedov. I'm looking on my side here. That's July the 1st. Prelims are 4:00 Eastern time. The main card is 7 p.m. Those are both a nice early main card on ESPN Plus. So, really high profile fights. Enjoy this card. This is a great card. And I'll talk to you over the weekend.
I am excited about it, Jimmy. So happy to be back with you, brother.
Thank you, Laird Hamilton. And thanks a lot, Kevin Lee. Buddy, I'll see you soon.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys.